Nolan, your name was put on the map when you won the August, but what people don't really know is that you actually won a silver medalist at the World Champs in 2012. That sort of tells us a bit about priorities, that South Africans are more interested in road cycling rather than track.
Yeah, and especially, I think the reporting isn't that great about cycling in South Africa. I've had really bigger successes both on the road and on the track in the previous years, but one can actually just realize again that, the magnitude of the August is really one of the prestige events to win in South Africa, and yeah, I'm just glad that I could win, the August, and it puts me as one of the elite few that's won it now, and it's something that I'll take with me forever, and for a long time.
Nolan, what's the plan now for the Commonwealth Games? What competitions do you take part in preparation for that?
Like Dean mentioned, is that we don't have a world-class facility here to prepare for these sort of big events, and that's where I've been fortunate, is that the team gives me the freedom to allow me to go race overseas and give me longer periods of time to go base myself in, whether it be Europe or in America or wherever the race is going to be,
And you had a tough 2 years in 2010, and immediately after that you won that silver medal. It sort of tells the story of perseverance and persistence. Is that what has taken you or made you so successful throughout your career?
Definitely, I mean, it's people really don't know me, I've been on the road now doing this for 10 years, and I've been the bridesmaid for seven seasons, next to Malcolm Lange and Jacques Foulard and a lot of good guys, and I'm on top of my game now. I'm in the prime of my career, and I've learned a lot from racing against these guys, and it's just that I've perfected my cycling now, and I'm harvesting the fruits of all the effort that I've put in over the years, and yeah, the perseverance, and I think I'm a disciplined athlete. It's like I want to be successful, and I train hard, and I put everything into my cycling, and I mean, in the results it's evident. And
can you tell us a bit about some of your other riders in the team? Who's up and coming?
Yeah, we've got a lot of youngsters. I mean, we've got a couple of 19, 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds. I think the average age in our 7-man team is 23 and a half. So we've got a lot of youngsters, led by Nolan, and then James Perry, who's the oldest guy, just over 30, who did a couple of years with Team Barloworld. So he carries a lot of experience. Okay. So between those two, the rest of them are all under 24 years of age. David Mahreen, who's about 24 or 25, exceptional talent. He was very good at the Mzansi Tour last year. He won the King of the Mountains competition there. And he was the guy actually that managed to drag Nolan over Seikobossi and get him back into the front group. There too, I think that story wasn't really told on TV. So complete team effort. Kellen Goveris, he's 19 or 20 years of age. He's on the Commonwealth Games squad as well for the track. Okay. He won the 40-kilometer points race at SA Champs last year. So a huge talent there, being mentored by Nolan. Reynard Butler, another youngster that Nolan actually brought into the team from East London. 21 years of age, also a sprinter, learning a lot. Miles van Musschenbroek, again, 21 years of age. Originally from Durban, so me with the team sort of being based in KZN, coming from there, we looked to as many youngsters to bring from KZN into the setup. And then an exciting new signing that we have this year, Opa Malaleke, 22 years of age, born and bred in Soweto, has played a massive part on Sunday at the race. Literally looked after Nolan for about 30 kilometers, controlled the race down completely when it was the 4-man breakaway, and contained that breakaway at a minute and just rode on the front. So, yeah, that's a massive talent, and I think it just speaks volumes for our development program that we run.
Dean touched on the squad for the Commonwealth Games. SASCOC sort of cuts that down to if you need to be the top 5 in the world or in the Commonwealth. How much pressure does that put on you to actually make that standard?
Well, I mean, it's like, yeah, Sascock sets the bar really high, you know, and which, in all honesty, it's fair, you know. One needs to be on top of the game to really be competitive, you know, and Sascock wants medal contenders, and as an athlete, you aspire to that, you know, and but for cycling, you know, it's really a minority sport, and it's really difficult to go to these events with the minimal support you get and try and qualify, you know. So each event that you go into, it's sort of like you have a gun to your head to perform. Otherwise, you won't meet the criteria or the standard, you know. And I think it's been difficult for myself going to the World Cups and the World Championships to always finish amongst the top 5 or the top 10. But I think I've did pretty good, you know, in performing consistently, and I think yeah, that's just built my confidence ahead of Commonwealth Games this year as well.
I think what's difficult there as well is cycling is a team sport. So although Nolan qualifies because he's top 5 in the Commonwealth, 3 riders get to race that race in the scratch race or points race. So it would be very difficult to send Nolan there alone when other countries have 2 or 3, and even more so on the road. We might have Daryl Impey that's ranked in the top 5 in the Commonwealth, but we need a team of 6 or 8 guys that might not be. We can't send him there alone. And I think it's getting that message across as well to Sascock and putting in that motivation that cycling really is a team sport, and we go in there with a primary leader, but we might need 2 or 3 other guys that are not necessarily ranked in the top 5, but are there to do a job in order to help us achieve that goal of winning a medal at the Commonwealth. And that's very important as well.
And how much has that in specific affected the development of the sport in the country? Because obviously we have a few of our athletes going overseas, but not everybody.
Yeah, well, I think it comes down to funding. That's the problem. And there too, I might revert back to the facility issue that we have. If we had a facility, Nolan wouldn't have to spend as much time out of the country or doing as many competitions. And when you have that sort of facility, we can breed guys locally here at a much less of a cost, and we could see 10, 20, 30 Nolan Hoffmans in 5 years' time. So that is the issue. Because there is not enough funding, the guys are going to struggle to get to his level, because he's got to this level not because of the training that he does in South Africa. It's because of the racing that he gets to do internationally. And having only one guy going there and doing that is not going to help us. Just
tell us, what's the future looking for cyclists in South Africa?
I think good, but I think it's definitely going in the right direction. I've had a chat with Mark Bradley, the general manager. He really is doing a lot on the commercial side. There's talks of a new series coming in, TV rights, all of that kind of stuff. And I think the international results speaks for themselves. We had Louis Meintjes, who was second at the Road World Championships under 23 last year. Daryl Impey wearing the yellow jersey at the Tour de France. Chris Froome, who we could as well claim as South African, winning the Tour de France. MTN Quebec is now a recognized international team producing massive results internationally. Nolan consistently in the top 5 in the world. So results are speaking for themselves. So cycling is definitely stronger in this country and in Africa too. I mean, if you see what MTN Quebec is doing with the Eritreans and that are coming to, it's incredible. And it's not so easy for us as South Africans to go to an African Championships anymore and clean up. In fact, I don't think we have been cleaning up in recent times. So cycling in Africa is definitely growing.
But what is your advice to youngsters wanting to become professional cyclists?
Well, you know,
or why should they?
Well, it's firstly, you know, my motto is if you dream it, you can achieve it. You know, I've had a difficult journey to where I've gotten. You know, but I mean, with minimal support, it doesn't mean there's no support. You know, at least you should take advantage of the support you get and actually be goal driven and chase your dreams. You know, because at the end of the day, nothing really is impossible. You know, it's like what Dean mentioned. It's that a local guy that came through the South African ranks here, like Chris Froome, you know, he ended up going to win the Tour de France. So really anything is possible, you know. If you apply yourself right, you can achieve it, you know.